Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. It has been a very embarrassing day for Chief Justice Martha Koome. A high court today prohibited the government from compelling or requiring mandatory registration, enrollment, or listing of any employer or employee to contribute their earnings to NSSF. As that was happening, Azimio elected leaders also successfully blocked Martha Koome from attending their induction. Though in this video, I want us to dwell on the High Court ruling and what it means politically. On the issue of Martha Koome being blocked from members of parliament's induction, we will do that in our next analysis. We'll do it in details and I'll explain why Martha Koome most likely skipped that induction and what it means politically. Let's now dig deep into the High Court ruling. Before we do that, in case you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. Yes. About 1 week to the elections, the general elections, High Court of Kenya found Rigathi Gachagua to have irregularly obtained about 200 million Kenya shillings from the state. The High Court found Rigathi Gachagua guilty and he was ordered to forfeit the same amount to the state. Upon the High Court making that ruling, some Kenyans very quickly moved to the Supreme Court and they wanted the Supreme Court to interpret whether Rigathi Gachagua was fit to hold a public office. And they were basing their arguments on Chapter 6 of the Constitution, leadership and integrity. Now that the High Court had found Rigathi Gachagua to have obtained about 200 million irregularly from the state, the petitioners felt Rigathi Gachagua was not fit to hold a public office. They went to the Supreme Court. What did the Supreme Court do? The Supreme Court struck out, or rather threw out, that petition. And that, in other words, just meant that Rigathi Gachagua, in their opinion, as the Supreme Court, Rigathi Gachagua was fit to hold a public office. Yes. And then today, High Court made this ruling again. High Court issues order prohibiting the government from compelling or requiring mandatory registration, enrollment or listing of any employer or employee to contribute their earnings to NSSF. Monday, 19th September 2022. That's today. That's another landmark ruling by the High Court. And I'm saying it's a landmark ruling by the High Court because just some few days ago, William Ruto was insinuating that they might compel Kenyans to contribute more to NSSF. That was William Ruto some few days ago. And he was saying that saving is good, for if you want to go to heaven, then you save. This ruling by the High Court is a landmark ruling in that the High Court is proving that they are not maybe a puppet for the executive. First of all, they had made a ruling on Rigathi Gachagua, and now they are making a ruling that seems to be thwarting William Ruto's hints of the government, maybe forcing Kenyans to save more. And again, I'm saying it's an embarrassment to Martha Koome and the Supreme Court, because as I talk, the Supreme Court is seen as compromised. If you look at the ruling that they've been making in the recent days, the latest being the presidential petition, and then the case on Rigathi Gachagua's suitability to hold a public office, it's clear the Supreme Court is trying to please the executive, while the High Court is remaining steadfast, very firm, and most likely they are there to maybe serve Kenyans and to make their judgment based on what the law says. The Supreme Court appears their judgment and rulings are not really based on what the law says, but their rulings are based on some maybe intervention. And that's a very big embarrassment to the Supreme Court and to the Chief Justice. In fact, they can now see for themselves that the lower courts are more efficient and serving Kenyans even better than the apex court. And that's why I still maintain, and I repeat, the Supreme Court is not serving Kenyans. It's not living up to the expectations of Kenyans. And this is why I still believe that Kenyans can do with the High Court and the Court of Appeal. The Supreme Court is just wasting taxpayers' money. It is very unfair for Kenyans to contribute taxes to support a court that is not serving their interest. Very unfair. This is why I believe and I maintain that the Supreme Court is not serving its intended purpose. Kenyans should do away with the court. And also, if you look at the judges of the Supreme Court, they are actually very arrogant. Listening to Martha Koome, listening to Lenaola, those judges are very arrogant. And there is some impunity finding its way into the Supreme Court. I still maintain Kenyans can do away with the Supreme Court. The ruling by the High Court today proved beyond any reasonable doubt that the lower courts are performing far much better than the apex court. The lower courts appears to be more independent than the apex court. That's what that ruling means. And that's why I say it's an embarrassment to Martha Koome and to the Supreme Court. Let me stop it there. But before I stop, just as I did indicate, in case you are watching us for the very first time, but so far you have not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humble, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you, God bless Kenya. To any other person who wants to have a chat or a discussion, or to share information with me, or even to support this forum or channel, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number, or you can send any support or contribution to the number. And to those watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. And if possible, subscribe, give this video a like. Yes. Let's meet in our next analysis. And before I go, Martha Koome, Isaac Lenaola, and all the Supreme Court justices, please do Kenyans a favor by just resigning. Yes. Kenyans, a good majority of Kenyans don't have faith and trust in you. Be honorable and do the honorable thing. Just resign. Your continued stay as Supreme Court justices is not making sense. Just do the honorable thing, resign. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you. God bless Kenya.